Bass is here. Bass, can you hear me? What's up?
I can.
Hey. Happy Sunday and shit. Good to see you. We are live. Do you have a share? Do you have a link if you want to share this or whatever? We'll get set up here.
A link for what?
Just if you want to invite people to watch the stream. I think Rob said he's going to stop by later here. All right. I think we're good. I'm just going to go ahead and quote this. We are live with Bass. Let's see if I get this right here. Doesn't look like I am so far. What's your Twitter handle there, bud?
At Bass Codes.
Bass Codes. Got it. There we are. Now talking. Well, I wish I could spell. Oh my God. All right. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Last day here, so catching my flight later.
Oh, you're still there?
Yeah, I am.
No shit.
Hotel room.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, you are still there. That is awesome. Somebody still representing in Wisconsin, y'all. Great to see you. So let's just get right into it. I want to hear from you. Just give us a little recap on your experience last week.
Oh, that was my third that conference. It was like amazing. I have the feeling it gets better with any like upcoming event. So this one was, at least to me, the most intensive experience. Like that conference is like run by Clark, and it's like probably one of the best conferences I've ever been to.
Wow.
And that is because like it's not so much commercialized, so I feel like the connections you make with people are very like personal and intense and stuff like that. So I had a very good time.
Good. That's awesome. Give me some, I guess, reflection on maybe a couple of the talks that really stuck out to you that when I ask you that question, your mind immediately went to.
So I had that one talk that I attended that was about shell scripting. And what really amazed me was that guy was like, his entire presentation was written in shell script.
Oh, wow.
So he even had an ASCII art of his own profile picture. And he made it really interactive. People shared some shell scripts and stuff. So that was really impressive and kind of nerdy.
Yeah. See, stuff like that really, and again, it sticks out. Like that's stuck in your head is memorable for many reasons. Obviously, what he was talking about, the content was good, but the presentation is really what sold it for you. I love that. Who was that? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Core Diamond, I guess. Let me check that.
Let's hear. We'll pull up.
Corwin Diamond, yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm going to pull up the schedule here, and we can look at it. We'll have to go through some pictures too, just because they were so awesome. Let me see here. Share my screen.
That was on August 1st. I think it was the last day. Yeah, that must have been on Thursday.
Let's see. We'll find it. Wednesday. I think nope, that's Thursday. All right. Scott Corwin Diamond. There you go. Shell Script 101.
Shell Script 101. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the other one that really stuck out was the one made by Andres about Python. I know that like Python is probably not the most popular choice in that conference, but I like it a lot. I do a lot of stuff in Python.
That's awesome. What so you work with Python a lot?
Yeah,
not maybe not a lot, but often enough that this talk was something that you went to. That's
Well, actually, it's a lot.
yeah, it is a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
nice. Yeah, I heard that that was a really good talk. Where was that? Oh, we were already
What
gone at
was
this
your
point.
favorite one?
So I went honestly. I think Chris Nowicki's talk that I went to this one outside of the keynotes. I didn't go to a ton of the actual like talks. I just
Mm.
my with my son and my wife there. I was doing a lot of stuff with them. Um, but I had a couple of people that I really wanted to check out. This being one of them, and his framework to a better you in the world of productivity talk was absolutely phenomenal. I took pictures of all of his slides, but I'm also hoping he'll just share his slide deck with everybody because there was a ton of great resources and data just talking about managing life around work better and how to really, I guess, benefit from optimizing how you do things. I think sometimes we just get away from what our ultimate goal is. And I think when you put your why in front of how again and look at that and reflect on it, it'll make you make some changes. Sleep being one, sleep being so important. He had a bunch of graphs that indicate,
Mm.
at least for him, how he just made like little shifts in how he prioritizes time during the week and invests in what he does. And he was able to gain a few more hours a week of sleep, which again is huge, especially for a lot of people. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Roxy, hello, and Kenneth, hello. Roxy was there. I don't know if you met Roxy. She's very short.
Yeah, I met her just
Yeah.
briefly in one of the like the room party.
Yeah. Oh, yep, yep. Which obviously was also a huge, very memorable thing. I think that's one thing that people kind of touch on sometimes is the after the hallway, like when the conference closes, is what's going on afterwards, where people get to like interact with each other on a deeper level and have those talks and have a drink under less of the pressure of the actual event. Where we get to like talk about life and talk about family and have a drink with someone and see who they are and what they're about. So I loved Chris's talk, and I checked out Sarah's talk the day before. Sarah Shook, she was talking about color properties and deep diving into hex and color models. Like she actually showed us the formula to figure out how to convert things from RGB to hexadecimal, or vice
Oh
versa. I
yeah,
can't
I heard
remember which.
about that one. I missed it, but I heard so many good things about that. That
Yeah,
has must have been fun.
super cool. Super cool. Which stinks because then I missed Adam's talk about the CLIs, which I thought was interesting because I got to meet him the night before in the hallway after hours, because a few of us were just hanging out, having drinks in the hallway. And Adam had stopped by. I got to meet him, and he told me about what he was talking about. And I thought it was really interesting. So that's that's kind of the problem sometimes with these events is all of these talks are good. Like they got
Yeah.
picked, they got picked to be there. So there's obviously a reason. I would love if anybody in the chat wants to chime in on what their favorite talks were. I see Richard's here. I saw Nate Emerson, all people that I got to hang out with as well. So that was cool. All right. So as far as our keynoters, we had Kent, we had Mark, and then we had the wonderful doctor whose name I can't remember. It was I wanted to say Susan. Oh, June. Dang it, so close. Susan, June, same
I'm
difference.
not good at
Uh,
remembering names either.
no, neither am I. I'm okay if I've met the person a few times,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
after that, then it's I'm toast. All right, hold on. Let me see if anybody else jumped in here. Okay. And again, if anybody's in that chat, I did drop the link. If you guys want to hop in the stream and chat with us, I think I can get a few people in here. I'm not 100% sure though. Anyway, of the three, which one did you get to see all of them? By the way, did you watch all the
All the
keynotes?
keynotes?
Yeah.
I missed the last one, but
Okay.
yeah.
It was very good. June is definitely a wonderful speaker. And I don't think the fact that this was a tech conference really changed anything, because I think the message that she had really could have resonated with any audience. That could have been a gardening conference and it still would have made sense. So I think that's one thing that's cool about the whole kind of vibe and the message of the keynotes this year. And from what I've seen in a lot of the years is, and it's kind of cliche and I say it all the time, but it's about tech and it's not about tech. Like, this conference is for people that are in the tech industry. It's not for tech people, if that makes sense. So everybody's, messages can be carried in all walks of life, not just tech specifically.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I talked to
uh
her like on the last day before we like pulled down all the stuff. She was very nice, and
mhm.
just had a brief interaction with her. Like, so I got a little recap on her keynote.
Yeah,
Must have been great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it really was. We Let's see, what did I worked out? I was working out that morning when she started, and then I went back up to the room, and had breakfast with Jack and Rachel, and then I was just playing it out, on my YouTube on my phone, so Rachel could listen to it too, and she thought it was really great. I saw Kent's as well. I was in the first half of it, and then I had to leave because I had Jack with me. So we went back up to the room, and I finished that. Loved his message as well. But I think, and I see a lot of people. Ellie is here. I see Eddie's also here. What's up, everybody? The one that really sticks out to me is Mark's, and maybe I'm a little biased because I know Mark pretty well personally. His talk was extremely moving and inspiring and just hit all the right things for me personally. You got to see his?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I mean, all of those like resonated very well, and it's like, especially when I listened to Marx, it was like, yeah, why is that you only have to have a wake up call to make actual changes?
Mm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, and unfortunately, in a lot of people's lives, that's what it comes to, right?
Yeah,
We have some drastic, life changing thing, or some sort of like essentially a trauma that affects us or makes us want to fix something. Yeah, life lessons suck.
yeah, yeah. If you make the best out of it, they don't. But yeah, totally get that. Same,
Yeah,
same for me, and probably same to all other humans, I guess.
yeah, no, and I think that was a good takeaway from what his talk was about. Is you can't wait for those shakeups. You've got to live every day because you don't have a tomorrow, and the whys that you're doing all the things for are the most important whys. Yeah, I don't know. I was bawling. I'll just say it. I was crying like a bitch. So just like, oh my
Totally
god,
get
as a dad, and like I got to meet his son. Our two sons were like BFFs. So like then hearing him talking about the stuff that he went through and understanding from a parent perspective how that affects what you're doing or what you think about was it's too much. It was too damn much. I hugged him afterwards. I was like, what are you doing to me, dude? Like, you can't, come on.
Yeah, yeah, totally get it.
Ugh. Oh, wow. Thanks. I see Roxy's here. Richard, what are we talking about? I just want to make sure we're staying up on the chat here. You went there for Mark's. No, she was there. She took pictures. Kent's. I wish I had seen all of Kent's because I've seen his talks before and they're super interesting. And he's a really inspiring guy too. Just such a like positive energy from him. Did you get to meet him, Bass?
Yeah, also just briefly in one of those room parties.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, and he's like a really good speaker. Like, I was really impressed by his performance.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Utpa's here. What's going on, Utpa? I got to meet Utpa at a different conference. He did not attend Wisconsin. Am I yelling? So oh no, Utpa's yelling because he's all capping us. Utpa, turn the caps off, buddy. Jesus Christ. Um, so based on your experience and going into it, who who are you looking for? Who were you looking forward to maybe like meeting or connecting with? You know, we had a very large chat going before and during. Was there anybody that you had engaged with prior to the conference that you were like looking forward to meeting?
So, actually, as I said, that was my third time visiting
Mm-hmm.
that conference. So I already knew a lot of people. So, and I was
Yeah.
really like, that's what I said, that there are so like intimate connections that are almost like friends, even if we are like across the globe. But yeah, I was really looking forward to like seeing old friends that I've met before.
Yeah. No, that's kind of what it was for me too. I mean, I had a good list of people that I was looking forward to seeing for the first time. There's one right there, Brian. Brian Morrison is in the chat on Twitter. Good to see you, buddy. It was great meeting you. Sarah Shook was another one. Like her and I have talked quite a bit over the last year or so. So it was great to meet her. And then a lot of people I had already met at Render. I met a lot of people at Renders. So that was cool. So seeing them again was really awesome just to be able to like see those friends again. And I
It's
mean,
like a tech reunion, I guess.
yeah, no, for sure. What is that? I guess how would you articulate what it's like to see the people that you interact with pretty regularly online in real life for that first time sometimes? Like, can you kind of talk about like what that feels like and then what that connection is moving past that?
Yeah, probably like so when I was at my first that conference, it was like it felt like my whole Twitter stream came to life somehow.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then I realized, okay, these are just not avatars; these are real people, and they're actually pretty nice, and they're not like that's what Clark also said. Like your superheroes are like just normal people eventually, and that's what I felt like from like following them, like interacting online with them a little bit, uh, going to a personal connection and seeing them in person was like, okay,
Hmm.
well, they are just like cool dudes and cool gals, and that was fine. That's awesome. That stuck a lot with me.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was kind of how it felt up and after render for me, and then coming to that conference because a lot of these people I had already got to spend a lot of time with and hang out and meet and like dab up and like give hugs to, and then the rapport that we built. And then we're hanging out online again, so it's like the dynamic of the relationships, the friendships are different, and then like knowing that we get to see each other again, like
Yeah,
there's that like shared excitement, like oh yes, we get to
yeah,
hang out
you're
again. And
really looking forward to the
yeah,
next event. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
And I think it's awesome too because it does change the dynamic of how you approach yeah, dab up. Dab up, that's right. um how you approach a conference, because you've said you've been to that a few times now. So the next one isn't your first one. You don't have the same nerves. You don't have the same like anxieties going into something that you've never been to before. And you're seeing your friends again. You're seeing your family again. And I
Yeah,
think that that's one cool thing that Mark said in his talk is the thing about um, crap. The thing about the family. Hold on. I quoted it too. I wish I had written it down, and I'm going to right now as soon as I find it. But just the fact that again, like I'll paraphrase it. It was something about family not always being like blood, So all these people that we're meeting now are these communities that we're connecting with and really building these like deeper friendships. They become family. We talk about all the stuff in the chat now, and we have this great that chat where we've all really developed cool relationships and friendships. And yeah, it's hard to articulate how these types of things go to people that haven't been to one before. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna find this goddamn quote that I am just absolutely butchering right now. So what's one takeaway from you for you? I'm not looking at any like script here. I'm just asking while I'm multitasking. What's one takeaway for you that you're going to now sort of implement, or you kind of think about moving forward just in your day-to-day life?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Um, I wouldn't say there is a special takeaway just because of that conference. It's just like the way I enjoyed it this time, like being even more intense than the other two ones I've been to, uh, just reassures me to do more of, like, to level up my conference game, so to
Mm,
say. Do more of in-person events that hasn't necessarily to be that, but also like local user groups, and I really want to do more of that.
yeah, I like that. I've seen a couple people mention doing the in-person stuff, doing more in-person stuff. I think that movement is is really important. And again, I think sometimes people think that it has to be at that conference level. But
No, it
no,
hasn't. No,
no,
absolutely
no.
not. Like there are small meetups, user groups, smaller conferences, hackathons. There's plenty of stuff out there, and I think like after COVID, anyone worked from home, and that stick to a lot of people. So it's even more important to get yourself out.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know I quoted it in a, there it goes. Sometimes you aren't born into your whole family. I loved that quote from Mark, because I mean that really does speak to the community and the family that everybody is just like connecting with at these types of events or online in these communities that we're creating all together. That was really cool. Looks like Brian is mirroring what you said. He wanted to reignite the meetup scene. Actually, he was who I was referring to specifically when I said I saw people posting about also wanting to do more in person events, because I know that he said that he was going to do something like that as well. I know that Richard is part of Code and Coffee, I think, in the New York City area. I think that's a huge one. Um, just doing more in person. We talk the talk online, but when you're in person and just, I guess, connecting the deeper level relationships together with these people, it really is awesome. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you got as far as advice for people that have never been to a conference before? I mean, obviously they're super important. I think we all know that. But what about the people that are apprehensive about the IRL stuff? What are some takeaways that you, or maybe some advice you could give some people that haven't gone for their first time yet?
So probably the first time would be a bit overwhelming for some. Like you're going to be nervous of what maybe people are judging you, or maybe you put yourself in a bad light or something like that. But for the most of us, that's not going to happen. Like all the people I've not only at that, but also like on other tech events I've met are super nice and supportive and kind, and you just have to try it. You have maybe you have to overcome some of your fears,
Mm.
but once you do that, you will realize the whole community is like very supportive.
Yeah, that's a supportive community is so important. And I think people are just apprehensive because of like their own inner shit, right? It's
Yeah,
like, well, what if no one's gonna like me? What if no one talks to me? What if this? What if that? We get so kind of focused on those what ifs that we can talk ourselves out of doing anything. Um, but if you take that risk, you realize you're an idiot and you're scared of nothing.
yes, that's
Like none of those
the point.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, none of those things are real. My wife is pretty introverted. Like these big public things aren't really her vibe. And me, on the other hand, I lean more extroverted. I don't mind just talking to strangers. But even my wife was so comfortable and had so many compliments about everyone just being so nice, because everybody was. People would come up to her and talk to Jack because they know who they are already. And it made it comfortable. If somebody that's not in tech can come to a tech conference and feel welcome and feel like they're a part of it, like that really is a testament to what that environment or that culture is in a positive way. And I think that's my biggest takeaway. I think for anybody that's never been to a tech conference, if you're in tech, you can totally go and you'll be fine, because
yeah,
people that aren't in tech totally go and thrive.
yeah.
So
And I think like the share of introverted people among the tech scene is probably higher than the general average. So you get to know that the people you are meeting there are just like probably similar to yourself.
mhm.
So there is absolutely nothing to fear about.
Yeah, Brian, I like what Brian said here regarding the question. He said, I think building relationships with people that are going to be there is super helpful with nerves too. Yeah, so like pre-build relationships, I think that's a good one. And that's where a lot of us are successful, is we already have like relationships, or we've communicated with a lot of the people that we're about to meet. So it does break a little bit of that ice already. We already have a little familiarity with some of the people. Ellie said, I think volunteering at a conf is a good idea. If you are unsure, at least you will have something to do. You get a free ticket and you meet people by default. Yeah, that kind of almost forces you to meet people if you're a volunteer. If you're working, people are going to approach you.
Yeah,
That actually is a really great tactic if you think about it. If you have trouble reaching out to people or outreaching and initiating the conversations, that'll bring people in. Oh, we have Bruno here. Did you meet Bruno, Bass?
no.
All right. Well, you're about to meet Bruno, who was at that conference, and I got to meet him, and he is a great guy. So let's bring Bruno in here. Bruno, can you hear us? Bruno had a sick hat, by the way. Let's see if he's got it with him right now. Bruno, where is he?
Hello.
Yeah, he definitely couldn't fit as many beers in his pocket. Well, we'll let him get figured out. But Bruno is in the house, folks. We'll ask him some questions too. Bruno, you there? I see your mic's unmuted, but you don't have video. All right, we'll let him get figured out. I'm just looking through some of the questions here. Oh, and we lost Bruno. All right, good talk, Bruno. Playing a piano. I don't know about that. Oh boy. We lost the chat, Bass. We lost the chat there. I don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
the heck they're
absolutely.
talking about. It looks like they're starting a family band. I think that conference band is going on tour. Someone's playing guitar, and I see talk of piano. That's awesome. Okay, I didn't see it, so I'll ask the chat again. Yeah, the Partridge Family, exactly. Those that were in attendance, and I know I think Brian's still here, Nate was here, Roxy's here, and Richard and Ellie. I don't know if Tech NFA was there. Technifa. What was your favorite moments? Talk about your favorite moments of the conf. You were not there, Tech. All right. Well, if anybody also, yeah, Upa, you were virtually there, so you got to see some of the what were we calling it? Just the live stage too. They had a bunch of things that Andrew and PJ were doing. James was on stage for a while. I know Shashi also did a session on the main stage for the live stream. if anybody was checking any of that out, I'd love some feedback too. I was able to catch some of it live. I loved the headbands thing, and I mean, I wish Andrew could make it because I would love to pick his brain a little bit on some of how they approached what they were presenting on stage because it was very entertaining. Richard taught you how to relax. Nice. Yeah, you James interviewed you, right? Or did you talk to Shashi? Or did you talk to both, Roxy? I do not remember. I attended online and felt the FOMO. Yeah, there was a lot of FOMO happening online. Yeah, they were just letting people up there this year. Ellie, you got up there a couple times as well, if I remember correctly. The roundtable was amazing, especially with keynotes, just getting to chat with and meet people. This was not the best. Yeah, you had to talk a little bit through the mask there, Brian. That was unfortunate, but we're glad you're feeling better. They weren't just letting anyone up on stage, Ellie. All the cool kids were there, and that's why. What was the new thing? What was that? Was that a new thing they were trying for the live stage? Yes. I think that they had some stuff. So I can give you a little background on the main stage stuff. There was a group. It was like James, Shashi, PJ, Andrew, myself. I think there were a couple other people that were in a chat with Clark. We had a Google Doc going, and we were all tasked with coming up with a few ideas and taking blocks of time to live stream. So Shashi came up with something. James decided to do what he was doing, and Andrew and PJ just went nuts and came up with all sorts of ideas and wanted to do all this stuff. It was very ambitious, but they crushed it. I was going to do 2 episodes of Tech Commute live, but Kent forgot and didn't show up till like 45 minutes after we were supposed to start, which was good because they were running late on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I was supposed to do a retrospective with Mark and Kent, and we had to leave. So that was why that one didn't happen. It was super flexible. I mean, they had stuff that they could fill in. It wasn't that big of a deal. But yes, that was new this year. The year before that, I know Clark was, or not the year before that, in Austin, Clark had stuff planned. I know Compressed FM did live streams from stage, and they had a couple panels that was all pre-scheduled. So I hope that they do more of that because I thought that was fun, especially for the live audience too. Bass, were you watching anything when you weren't down at the convention center? Did you have any of the live stuff on, or did you attend any of the live stuff?
No, I didn't. So I was like using the time to go to the open spaces and really have that whole like in-person thing. So I was not into the live things.
Yeah, no,
they were. I heard good things about them though, but I didn't watch them by myself.
Yeah, how many talks did you attend? Were you like just going to all of them?
Oh, I think I did go to most slots, I guess. So, particularly in this year, I found it very difficult to decide because there were so many good talks like happening at the same time, which always apparently is the case. But this time I found it very difficult in particular. But yeah, I think I made it to most slots.
Nice. I see Bruno is back. I've got him backstage here, and I see him on camera. I'm going to bring him on. Bruno, can you hear us, buddy?
Hi there.
Yeah.
There he is. Bruno, Bass is still in Wisconsin. He decided to move. He decided to move into the hotel. What do you think? He just loved it that much.
Oh yeah, he has so much fun.
Well, actually, now I'm in the Chicago area, but
oh, you are. It just looks like the hotel room.
Yeah, all hotels look the same in the U.S., I guess.
Apparently so. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Do you guys hear an echo?
No, I don't.
I heard the echo.
You did. It's got to be on Bruno's in there. Bruno, you broke us, buddy.
Oh, let me try using my headphones to see if that helps.
Ellie can hear it too, so it's somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. Well, Bruno, we've got a bunch of questions, but let's let you get the audio set up because I hate my voice.
Okay. I like your voice, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that. Nobody wants to hear it twice, though. Yeah, I did. I did become best friends with. Here, I'm gonna. Let me see if that helps. Okay, so Bruno, if I mute you, I don't hear myself echoing. So it's got to be something the way your audio is set up right now. So I did make friends with James. I think that was his name, the security guard that was in the hallway. We had multiple fun events in the hallway track where people would just come and kick it. Bass, did you do any of the late night hangout stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Did you make it to the hallway track with us? I know Bruno did.
Oh no, that time I was already sleeping.
Oh.
That was too late.
Yeah. So the one night, Andrew had this brilliant idea to tell us that the one vendor, the one sponsor that had the beer
yeah,
had left it all there and told us we could have it. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to the hallway because we were in the piano bar. Let's go back to the hallway. There's free beer.
You can bring new beer.
Oh, they brought a ton of beer. They took out like 54 packs, like cases on a roller. Now I hear myself. How do I keep hearing? Maybe hold on. All right. What is happening? I still hear myself. Son of a Bruno. Poor Bruno.
So I can't hear you. I have to step out.
Okay.
Because I don't want to move into that hotel and I have to check out now.
All right. Well, it was great seeing you.
Great job.
And stay in touch. Everybody say bye to Bass. Tell him safe travels.
Bye.
We'll see you, man. All right, Bruno. Let's see if we can get this figured out here. Oh, I don't hear myself.
Oh, you don't?
That's perfect.
Oh, cool.
Holler. All right. Sweet. All right, bye, Bass. Now this was really my worst that. All right, so anyway, Bass, you were there. Or excuse me, Bruno, you were there. All the B names are coming in today. Bruno, you were there. So we went down to the hallway and got all that free beer that Andrew suggested we do.
It was Andrew's idea?
It was Andrew's idea. And I think it's in the chat to prove it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anyway, we go down. I see Rob's here, Robocell and La Casa. So it was Andrew's idea. We go down there. We take the beers. I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to show you a picture of, oh, wait, Roxy, do you still have that picture? Can you send it to me again? Hold on. Maybe I still have it. I do. All right. Hold on. Let's see if you guys can see that. Let's see. So there's me with the 4-pack. I think you were there, Bruno. I put the 4-pack on my fanny pack.
Oh, yeah.
I had the other one. And it was that moment where Andrew was like, no, hold on. This isn't going to work. We should put it all back. We're like, bro, you can't tell us that we can have free beer. And then, and to be clear, I was not taking all of it for me. There was many of us there. There was a good 7 or 8 of us. I just didn't want to keep walking back down the hallway. So if we had a bunch, well, anyway, yeah. And yeah, Andres was we all had a ton. So we had to put it all back. He's like, we can go back and take one at a time. It's like, well, that's stupid. But anyway.
You took yours back?
Yeah. Well, I felt, Andrew guilted us into doing it because he totally dadded us out. So,
Once
Uh,
I felt guilty, I just started handing out beers to random people, and then they wanted it. So yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. So anyway, he had remorse for telling us that there was all that free beer, but the guy at the place was like, "Take it." The next morning, he should like opened up. They had another like cooler that was right next to the thing, filled with 4 packs. Like,
yeah.
take whatever you want, take as much as you want. He sent me with some home, and yeah, so it worked out. But Bruno, it's great to see you. Are you back home? Where are you located?
So for South Dakota, yeah.
South Dakota. That's right. That is right. Nice. Well,
How about you? Where are
I'm
you?
I'm up in Western New York,
Oh,
Rochester area. So
nice.
now that you're here, tell us about your experience at that conference. Was this your first time?
Yeah, this was my first time at that conference, and man, it was way more than I was expecting. It was definitely one of the best conferences that I've ever went to. And I think most of it was because it's community based, you know. I mean, there is a lot of technical stuff. I got to learn a lot of new stuff. The workshops I did on Monday on Vue was great. But yeah, it was definitely great, and it was nice to meet you, Jason. So
You
great
too, man.
conference. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I remember, hold on, the temporal swag was off the charts good. And they had long sleeves and short sleeves, by the way. We got one of each. Um, the gray ones were long sleeve. The next night when I saw you, Bruno, and you were like G'd out with your fedora on, I'm like,
It was,
dang. Okay, because
uh,
yes. Like party boy Bruno just comes raging down into like the gang in the hallway track, but then the next night it's like mysterious, like hanging in the back with the hat down over his eyes. It was cool, man. It was a good look.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a cowboy hat. You're right, but he had a fedora type hat at the see. Oh, is he getting it? He's getting it.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Oh,
talking about
there it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe not a fedora, but there it is.
yeah.
That's the hat. That one's sick. So, what, as far as like talks for you, which ones really stood out and impacted you the most? Do you think the ones that you were able to go to, not including the keynotes, just like the talks?
I went to a lot of talks, and I think the top three were. I went to one about the BCI, the brain computer interface, if
Mm,
I'm getting that correct. I went to Sarah's decoding colors. That one was very great, good.
yeah,
Uh,
that was awesome.
and another one about I went to was about resumes, and I think the tool she was talking about, lady, was ATA, the tool that selects the resumes and all
Mm.
of that stuff. So those were my favorites. How about you? Did you have any favorites?
Yeah, I thought Chris Nowicki's talk about just like frameworks for a better life was a real good one. And I also liked Sarah's. I felt pretty confident coming out of it when she kind of gave us the calculations to convert RGB to hex. I thought
Yeah,
that was cool. And I'm like, oh shit, I figured this out. It was like such a cool accomplishment. And it was nice because both of them also had um, audience interaction. So there was a lot of engagement, which for me, I personally like. Um, so those were my kind of takeaways. I think for me, and those were really the only talks I was able to get to, just because I was doing so much with my family too. So, and then when I had the opportunity, I was just networking, getting out there and like talking to people and hanging out with my friends and stuff. Uh, Keynotes. Did you see all three of them?
yeah. I saw all three of them, but the one that watched the full thing was the last one, the June one. So yeah,
That was the therapist, June.
yeah,
June
yeah.
Kramer. Yeah, that was awesome. So, what's something as far as from her message that kind of stuck with you?
Uh, Let me see. That's a tough one. I'd say how to deal with anxiety and whether it's in your personal relationship at home or at work, the differences of how you feel. As you mentioned, this concept of how you calm down and start to feel the space around you so you don't get that much anxious and then control the situation. Yeah, that was a pretty solid message.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I like that. Nicely said. And then as far as your experience and how it compares, was this your first conference ever?
No, I've been to
Okay.
conferences. Yeah.
But you've never been to that conference.
No.
All right. So how would that compare to some of the other conferences? Like, is this more interesting to you, less interesting? Do you prefer more technical or more like interpersonal? Just kind of reflect on your experience with all the conferences you've been to, and where does this kind of fall?
Let's see. The other ones I went to were definitely more technical, and I guess the difference, the other ones I went to, I didn't go out of my way much to meet other people. But with that conference, different because I was determined to go out of my way to meet new people. And even when I wasn't going out of my way, I was still meeting new people, which was great. So, yeah, connecting was definitely a huge part of it. And I liked it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that there was just a lot more opportunity here to connect on deeper levels with people.
Yep.
Was there anybody that you were looking forward to meeting at that conference that you got to?
Actually, before I came, I didn't know anybody there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I left with connect with a lot of great people that I still talk to now. So it's great.
That's awesome. What are your plans as far as doing any more in-person stuff? You have anything else scheduled?
In-person stuff, you mean like projects, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just more conferences, meetups. Has this inspired you to perhaps start your own thing out in South Dakota? What's the plans?
Oh, it has inspired me actually to look out for meetups in Sioux Falls. I hadn't done that before. Inspired me to potentially maybe start talking and practicing that, and also
okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to that in Texas next year. So yeah, great.
Nice. Austin, here comes Bruno. Watch out. He got the cowboy hat. He's got the cowboy hat.
Are you going to that in Texas next year?
I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna submit a talk and we'll see if it's possible. If the finances are different, I had to have a lot of people help me to get here this time, so that was cool. But that's like the power of community, right? That's a lot of what was talked about in a lot of the talks here, and just how everybody here is such a tight-knit community that if we were looking out for each other more and being more positive, like things would just be a whole shit ton cooler for everybody. And I think that's one of my biggest takeaways too. And I told Clark this a couple times. You can't tell people what it's like to be at that conference. You have to be there. Like there's no way for him to put into words or put into some sort of a visual for people to understand and then be like, I have to go. People have to go. When you're there and you feel like the environment, the energy, and the all of it, that you feel that it's crazy. I genuinely can't even. Didn't believe me how cool it was. Okay, it's not that I didn't believe you, Ellie. But I will say it's totally different in contrast to Render, which I was at a month prior. And I think for me, what was cool is being able to do both back to back, because I can compare and contrast the two experiences, where as opposed to like if I went to one a year ago, I lost a lot of what I remember from it. So, and my biggest takeaway is, again, like you kind of touched on, Bruno, is the community and just how it's such a more intimate opportunity to meet people. at Render, I met literally everybody, all 4,500 people I tried to meet. But the amount of energy it takes to do that, and you can't even really connect like deeper and have those deeper conversations because there's so many more people. Whereas something like this, where it's a smaller audience, but the quality of the connections you make is just that much better. So yeah, it was awesome. Do you have any advice for anyone that hasn't gone to any tech conferences?
Let's see. The only advice I give, I guess I'd say definitely at least try it once and see if it's your thing, because I think anybody who goes to a tech conference will learn a lot of things from it, And you meet all people from different, who work in different fields, and you get to learn about those. You might find a new interest you didn't know you had a fascination for, like the colors from Sarah. Didn't know I would like colors that much, but you learn how people navigate different problems they go through day to day in their tech jobs, stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely encourage people to try it at least once and see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rob's in here. He says Render's also tricky a bit because it's a more local conference. You're going into an Atlanta event. Maybe I'm wrong, but that conference felt a bit more like the first week of freshman year of college. Oh, that's interesting. Everyone had to meet everyone. I like that. I think that's a really great point. I think you hit the nail on the head where it's not fleeting, right? At Render, there's so many people, and it's shake a hand, move to the next one, shake a hand, move to the next one. But these people at that, I mean, we were all just not shoulder to shoulder, but next to each other, just consecutively for days together, building these relationships like you would with your dorm buddies, like making like these more intimate connections and the inside jokes and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a nice point. I like that. Yeah, let's see. I also don't like having to Uber places in ATL for sure. Render was great, but there's so many things about that make it better for me. Yes, I also agree. I love the venue. Bruno, can you talk about your experience at the Kalahari Resorts and Convention Center? What were your thoughts on that? First time there?
No, I had been to Kalahari Resort before in Ohio. I was attending another conference there, and it was almost the same as this one, but
Yeah.
I kind of like the one in Ohio better. But all the stuff they have there is great. They have a lot of good restaurants. The resort, of course, the water park. So it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And we've got some chatter about the Render Ubers. You have to Uber. There was like one building that was close to where the hotels were for Render, but everything else you had to Uber to. So it adds up. Plus, again, with just so many people, because people forget that Render is a part of Tech Week in Atlanta. So it's not its own independent thing. There's thousands and thousands of people there for different events and stuff like that, and there's things that are around the city that you don't want to walk to. It's like 100 fucking degrees. You don't want to walk 6 blocks, you're gonna die. So everybody's Ubering everywhere, whereas opposed to this, you're a 2-minute walk, you're a 3-minute walk, and it's all connected. I really liked the fact that everything was right there. I will say I did not love the fact that I was in the furthest point on the property in the hillside. The rooms were nice, but everything was all the way on the other side. It was nice that the shuttle was there, and we ended up walking most of it anyways. But that kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's one thing I was about to say. The one I went to in Ohio, the rooms were right above the conferences. So the convention center, I mean, so you just go downstairs and the convention center will be right there. So yeah.
Texas Kalahari is much easier to navigate if you're able to come. So okay, the Round Rock location seems to be a different layout, which is good. And I have heard that they're all like very similar but have slight differences. I think Andre Andre told me that there's one in the Poconos as well that he's been to, and that one's pretty close to me. So that would be kind of cool. But I think for me, the food was good, but you're at kind of a resort, so everything's a little bit pricier. You have to pay for literally everything, but with the expectation of you're staying at a resort, everything's there. You're going to always have that little bit of a premium price. But we had a blast. Jack had a great time. You know, my son's 7. He loved everything. He came to some of the talks, like he saw some of Kent's talk, he saw some of Mark's talk. And Rachel did. They had stuff that she could do. She had plenty of time to just sit out by the pool. That was cool. Like she just liked hanging out outside. Yeah, it was good. We liked the resort enough that we would say we would definitely go back if we go to another that conference. Like all 3 of us would go. So that was.
What would you say is your favorite part about that conference besides connecting?
Yeah, I think the talks. I think the keynotes for me were really good. I think each one of them I took something away from that really resonated with me. Like they all had at least a couple lines that like stick with me. I have a bunch of pictures of slides from all the presentations too, but I really liked June Sindesi Kramer's presentation style. And I had said this to Bass too, you know, she is not in tech at all.
Yeah.
And she was able to come to a conference, present to a bunch of technical people and resonate. Like her points made sense to all of us. They all clicked with all of us, which I thought was awesome. Mark's obviously just opening up and being vulnerable and talking about just being in the moment and living for what we're doing now. Because again, sometimes people have these like ridiculous experiences that kind of make them wake up to stuff. You know, and again, Kent's just so inspiring. So that all of that was great. And just the experience, being able to like travel with my son who's never been on a plane and everything, like being able to give him the opportunity to do that was really cool for me. And my talk was pretty cool. I'm glad I got like my first conference talk out of the way.
Was your first?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What did Rob say here? Getting to Wisconsin Dells from Madison Airport was tricky. That's definitely a trick people need to be. Yeah. It's good 40 minutes in a car. That was let's see, Ellie, apply for a talk. Yeah, what would you talk about, Ellie? I don't know when tickets will go on sale, but I would say it's probably going to be in a couple months. I'm sure he's already working out plans for that because Clark doesn't rest, even though he said he was going to this weekend. Let's see, the exclusive cookies and pizza that we grown-ups couldn't get. Richard, it is so funny you brought that up because I saw multiple adults try to, the night of the pig roast, Bruno, they had a little table that was like lower and it was for the kids. It had pizza and cookies on it and stuff. And I know I saw PJ also tried to get some and they turned them away. They're like, nope, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. Stretch. Get the hell out of here.
Of course, it's gonna be PJ.
Yeah, exactly. Holy cow, were they like super Nazis about the wristbands, by the way? Did you ever get turned away? I know so many people got like turned away from food. They had all that security on the food.
Really? They were checking wristbands? I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I always had mine on, so I never noticed if they were checking.
See, there you go. See, I don't like stuff like to wear stuff like that. So I only had on my like the one to get into my room.
Yeah.
So I kept the other ones in my pocket. But it's like, okay, I have my speaker tag on, like what my level is. So you know that certain thing, but they're like, oh, you gotta put it on the thing around your thing. But they turned a bunch of people away, and it was really funny. Let's see what I think speaking would make me anxious about going. Did you feel that? Yes, I was. So anybody that walked into my room, Mark's here. Mark Texan. We were just talking about your presentation, man. You blew us all away. Great to see you here. Hope you're feeling well and rested. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're like lifting weights and putting a gym together in your house right now. I was anxious, so what was it, like 3:55? I think my talk's at 4:00, and I was in the last room in the building on the one end, and I had a hallway that went toward the back, and I was just like talking to myself, all right, don't run back to your room. You got to get in there. It's going to be fine. Yeah, I was definitely nervous. It didn't make me not want to go though. I think my nerves didn't really hit me until like 3:00, like the hour before my talk. I had normal nerves. I think with anything like that, there's a little bit of anxiousness, but your home network. So what, Mark, you're going to have to give us like a whole home gym walkthrough video. You know that, right? No soup for you, soup Nazi from Simon. Yes, and that's exactly what they were like, Kenneth. I saw them turn Rob. If Rob's still here, I know he said, yeah, they were. They turned so many people away for food. It was hilarious. And a lot of them just like they had the food on their package and it just they forgot to wear it. I mean, it was so much fun. I forgot to take selfies. Yeah. Did you get a lot of pictures, Bruno? That's one thing. My one takeaway is I did not take enough pictures.
I did not either. I'm not so good at taking pictures. So
Yeah.
I did not. I had a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What are some of your techniques to overcome anxiety before you give the talk?
Ooh, awesome question. I just did it. Like, that's the thing. I was like, also, so if I reflect on my talk, okay, so anybody that wasn't there, anybody that didn't see it, I did my whole talk as basically a giant Rickroll, right? Like the whole talk was written around the themes of the song "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley.
No.
So I dressed. Hold on, let me see. I think I actually have the picture in my email right now. Oh no, I have it. Hold on, I'll show you guys. I dressed like Rick Astley from the video. I'll pull it up here. And I was so fucking, pardon my language, hot. I was sweating. So I'm already anxious, except Crocs. Yes. Thank you, Roxy, for bringing that up. There it is. Right there. So you can see the slide here, the image of Rick Astley, because there's the gif of him Rick rolling everyone, and I'm wearing pretty similar.
That's a nice outfit.
Oh,
You rocked it.
Mark, just realizing that I was dressed like Rick Astley. I love this. Yes, thank you, Roxy, for the picture. Anyway, I was sweating my ass off prior to the talk. Like I'm in the hall, I'm super anxious, I'm like freaking out in my head. I'm like doing walks and stuff. And I'll tell you what, James came up to me and he asked me if I did the Superman pose, which is something that a lot of speakers have told me to do. You get your chest out and you take a couple deep breaths. You get into that Superman pose. Breathe the confidence into yourself. And I did that. I turned right around. It was like 4:02. I walked into the room and then my computer fucked up. But it was fine. It was fine. Like, and some people I didn't talk to about this. Whatever was going on with the setup, I could only see my slides, and then on the screen I had my slides and then my presenter notes, but my pointer wouldn't go over to the presenter notes for me to scroll. So I could only see half of every slide's notes. So I had to present only half of it. So one of the feedbacks that I got from Shashi was it was a little short. It's like 17 minutes or something like that. But it was because it was half of it. So it should have been closer to a half an hour, and it was cut off. But
that sucks.
I would say pick an appropriate outfit for how you run temperature wise. That would be my feedback, and Superman pose, and just do it. That's it. Like anxiety, like we all have it, and I think James also told me, or maybe it was you, Mark. I don't remember. A couple people said it though. It's like I've done dozens and hundreds of these, and I still get nervous every time. You know, it doesn't change it. They still do it. They still crush it. So you gotta. Did you wear underwear on top of you? No, I did not wear the underwear on the outside for my Superman pose. Sorry, Utpa, you did not get that visual, buddy. So I did, and I did the presentation. We had really great Q&A. There was tons of engagement, and then we did an exercise at the end where everybody got to interact with each other in the room and write each other notes, and like take tangible, excuse me, like a piece of the talk to make it memorable. So I think it went pretty well. But as far as like for people, yeah, see, Mark was super nervous right before he went on stage. And you think about the level that he gave his presentation, it's Mark Texan. He's saying he gets nervous. So let's see, Rob. One piece of advice: find the friendly face. You'll have at least one awesome person in the crowd who is nodding and smiling, or invite them. Invite them to smile and nod at you. And that, Rob, if you come to my talk, I will. I'll be like, Rob, can you nod and smile at me, please? That would be great. Upa, what did Jack say about your talk? He said that I did a really good job, but he also said that he liked Mark's better. So because he was able to catch Mark's talk, which was it was very good. So speaking of that, I hear Jack yelling at me right now. He's downstairs doing some schoolwork. Watching all you guys get on stages, Mark, you definitely don't show that you are nervous. You look super confident. I know Kent took a really good picture of him. I was standing next to Kent before Mark went on, and yeah, there you go, Elder. Roxy, you can go ahead and subscribe and you won't get the ads. What was I saying? Kent took a picture, but we were watching Mark. He was like pacing just outside of the of camera and just kind of going through it in his head. You could see it, and it was really cool because again, it's like these are people that inspire me, and they're doing the same things I was doing. So I think it like grounds you sometimes to see people that you look up to also experiencing the same things for you, like having a relatable experiences. Yeah, I cried too. I'm not going to lie. I'm confident enough to say I bawled a lot. Technical issues are my biggest fear during a presentation or speech. I would want to have backup devices and plans just in case, because that's something Mark also had talked to me about. He said that he had a couple backup plans for the whole guitar thing. I didn't really have a backup plan. I kind of winged it. I think that's something that moving forward, I would definitely have some sort of a fail safe. I made sure my battery was charged. That was about as far as I got. I also forgot a pointer. I wasn't going to use one, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I should. It might be a little easier. I can be more mobile." And then the pointer that James gave me didn't work, so I still had to go over and tap the slides. But anyway, did you have any other like final remarks or feedback on the conference? Any advice, anything like that? I think we can. A little over an hour here. I think we can wrap up. I was going to record the blog. I did take some notes here. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull them up. But honestly, I think I might do it tomorrow. I might just do it off camera. I was going to do it for Eddie just so he, I might still do it. Maybe I'll come back on later. But anyway. This is the notes. What did Mark say? You also need to be much kinder to yourself. You did great. Considering what went wrong, you found a way to still make it meaningful. And honestly, that was my goal. Knowing that so many people came together to help get me and my family there, the one thing that I had set out to do at the conference was make sure that I was impactful with my presentation. So if people took something away from it, that would be cool. I am thinking of doing a stream, and I'll go over the slides and I'll talk about it. People can see what it should have been. We'll do that some other time, though. So, Bruno, takeaways. What do you got?
Takeaways. I would just say if you go to that conference or any conference for the matter, don't be afraid to approach people. Yeah, be open to connecting with people. Say hi to different people. And if you have something you are struggling with, either in your personal life or in your job, just approach people and ask them for advice. Yeah, you'd be surprised how people are willing to help. Just try it out, and yeah, you will be thankful.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely put yourself out there, step out of your comfort zone a little bit. I think that was the message too a lot. Step out of your comfort zone and find your new comfort zone. Grow yourself. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes, Roxy did walk in and ask if anybody was watching my phone, which I guess it's your fault then that it didn't record if you were watching it. Scapegoat. Hashtag scapegoat. All right, Bruno, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Roxy, Upa, Ellie, Mark, honored you're here. RoboCell, great to see you, buddy. Elders here. Ken, Brian stopped by. Nate was here earlier. Just so many awesome friends. Richard, always a pleasure. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, Bruno.
You as well.
We'll see you next time. See you, everybody.